Last week we talked about a man named Jim Elliot. Incredible man. I love his story. I encourage you to read biographies as much as you can. Jim Elliot, I used to have a quote of his, famous quote from Jim Elliot painted on my wall. We repainted our offices and redid them, but the quote was, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose." An incredible quote that tells you, that reminds us to be heavenly minded, eternally minded, not temporally minded. He's no fool who gives his money because you can't keep your money. He's no fool who gives his time because you can't keep your time. He's no fool who gives whatever, his life, because you can't keep your life to gain what you cannot lose. It's incredible, isn't it? Well, Jim Elliot, as we talked about last week, he was committed to live sent or die trying, and he actually did both. He was called to take the gospel to the Auca Indians down in Ecuador in the jungle of the Amazon. People begged him not to go. Don't go. You're crazy. There's lost people here. Tell lost people here about Jesus. They murder people. They're a fierce tribe. They kill Christians. Missionaries go down. They kill them. He said American Christians, they have their indictment in the dust written on the Bibles and in their checkbooks. He said, I'm going. You can't stop me. So he loaded up his family. He went to Ecuador, and when he landed in Ecuador, he's getting his family settled. He set up a meeting with he and 4 other missionaries with the Auca Indians. He flew a little plane, landed on a beach, got out. The Auca Indians come out, speared them, and killed them all right there on the spot. Had been there in no time. Killed them all. Sad story. Absolutely inspiring story about a man who said, I'm going to live sent or die trying. I'm going to follow Jesus. Some of you say, well, he's crazy. Look at what good he could have done if he would have not went. He could have won so many more people to Jesus. No, he did what God called him to do. You can't be better than that. So he goes, and now think about his wife, the wives of those other missionaries, Nate Saint, the other missionaries that were there. So what happened was they could have said, man, we're going to repay evil for evil. I hate the Auca Indians. Bitter about them. I want to get revenge. I hope somebody goes down and burns the place down. That's not what they did. They got together and decided, you know what, God called us here. We're going to repay evil with good. So we're going to go into the jungle and share the gospel with the very Aucas that killed our husbands. And that's what they did. Dangerous? Absolutely. Was it crazy? Absolutely not, because it was what God told them to do. So they did it. And what happened was they heaped burning coals upon the heads of the Auca Indians, who didn't even know the Bible, didn't even know God, but God's principles are true for all people, all places, and all time, no matter if they know him or not. And when they went into the jungle and shared the gospel, these Auca Indians, burning coals were heaped upon their head, and they literally surrendered their lives to Jesus Christ. And today there are thousands of Auca Indians who believe in Jesus Christ in churches all over the jungle, because God called a man and a family and 4 other families, and they went into a dangerous territory. And it looked silly, and it looked haphazard, and it looked careless, and they were killed. But God's call was not for Jim Elliot to be the one who shared the gospel, but to set the context for his wife to bring thousands of people into the kingdom. He's no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. That's paying back evil with good.